It's a feel-good movie, coming-of-age movie, and it's funny.
What do you think Santa smells like? The real Santa.
Welcome to Holiday Film Countdown. I'm Jamie Wolter, and today we are going to the North Pole and New York.
That's right. This film is Elf, our first ranked holiday film. Hello, I'm Tim Wolter. Here we are at number 1. So epic and such a payoff. Now let's not be cotton-headed ninny-muggins.
Our first guest is Ashley Mills. Hello, Ashley. Please let us know what you're drinking and give us a quick thought on Elf.
Hello, thanks for having me. Currently drinking La Marca champagne. I love La Marca. It was the first champagne I ever liked. Okay. So it's always a good one to go back to. First thoughts on Elf. I think this is probably like the most enjoyable time I've watched it because I was really thinking in depth of, the conversation and all these prompts. But I really enjoyed it. I really noticed how it could be great for kids watching it all the way to adults and just the humor in it and how it's a very modern Christmas movie. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Great.
All right, and our other guest is Timothy Wolter. Hey, Timothy, what are you drinking? And what's your initial thought on Elf?
Hey, I'm drinking Lalo, and my initial thought on Elf is probably my favorite Christmas movie and my favorite Will Ferrell movie. Probably the only Will Ferrell movie that I like.
And I am drinking champagne along with Ashley, and I will have to agree with Timothy. It is my favorite Will Ferrell movie as well. And it's a little bit of cornball, I'll have to say, for this film.
All right, and I'm joining Timothy with the Lalo Tequila. And Elf is ranked number 1 because of popularity. It's simply the most popular film on our list. Keeps coming up over and over. And watching it today, I was reminded why. And the clinchers were the elves and the music. That's what differentiated it in the end.
Elf was released in 2003. This story was written by David Berenbaum. Elf was directed by Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau also directed Iron Man and Iron Man 2 and has been heavily involved in the Marvel movies.
In addition to his work on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, both in front of and behind the camera, Jon Favreau has directed other films such as Cowboys and Aliens, live-action versions of The Jungle Book, and The Lion King, plus creative efforts directing and producing for the Star Wars Mandalorian series. He is also an actor. His acting credits include roles in Rudy, Swingers, Deep Impact, The Breakup, The Wolf of Wall Street, and Four Christmases, our 37th ranked holiday film. But you might not recognize him in that one. And most notably, today he plays the doctor in this film, Elf. Primary interior filming was at Riverview Hospital, an abandoned mental institution in the Vancouver area. Also, the North Pole setting was built and filmed inside of Vancouver's Pacific Coliseum. Exterior shots were filmed on location in New York City. Elf stars Will Ferrell, with appearances by Zooey Deschanel, James Caan, Mary Steenburgen, and a few others. We will all discuss them and the rest of the actors and characters in depth later on.
So Ashley, about your history with Elf. So how many times do you think you've seen it?
I feel like I've probably watched this film 5 times now, and every time I pick up on some new things that I haven't seen before.
And Timothy, what's your history with Elf?
I've watched it probably every Christmas that I can remember.
Yeah, I'm going to say I've seen it, I'm totally guessing, but 6 to 8 times. And it's always so much fun to watch. I mean, it always cracks me up every time.
Yeah, same here. It's probably on at some point every year. I may not catch the whole thing, but yeah. I've seen it quite a few times, probably around 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's check out the trailer.
This Friday.
What's this?
This is the North Pole.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Where's the snow?
Elf is giant-sized fun, raves Joel Siegel.
Did you hear that?
Jeffrey Lyons calls it enormously funny with side-splitting laughs.
This place reminds me of Santa's workshop, except it smells like mushrooms and everyone looks like they want to hurt me.
And Ebert and Roper give it 2 thumbs up.
Looks like a Christmas tree.
Elf.
Sorry I can't ride with you the rest of the way up. Oh, I forgot to give you a hug.
Rated PG starts Friday.
All right, what do we think of the trailer?
The trailer's interesting. I feel like it was hinting more at Step Brothers more than like a Christmas movie to me, because I'll I'm sure we'll get to it later, talking about the theme of what we think this movie was about. But I feel like it was really bringing back the joy of Christmas in a modern setting. And I don't feel like I really could see that from the trailer.
Interesting.
I guess I can fill in the gaps. So I think that the trailer provides a good example for what is to come. But also, having just watched it, I think that I know all like the backstory of each little clip in the trailer. So it's harder to think differently of it.
So did it make you want to watch the film?
Yeah, it looks funny. And I feel like most Christmas movies are very like serious and like family oriented, which this one is family oriented, but have a more serious tone to them. And this one kind of takes a lighthearted approach to Christmas, which is nice.
Yeah, I feel like as an adult, it would draw me in. And even if I was watching for the first time as a kid, it would also draw me in with just silly jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did it give away a lot of it, or do you feel like there was enough mystery left?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't show him walking and how he got from the North Pole to New York City and the whole meeting, truly meeting his dad and all that. It leaves all that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't show much at the North Pole, if at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it was mostly just the funny moments, but not all.
Yeah.
It's a lot of them.
All right, let's go inside the numbers. As Jamie mentioned, Elf premiered in 2003, the same year as Love Actually and Bad Santa, a couple of other films in our countdown. By the way, the director of Bad Santa, Terry Zwigoff, turned down Elf in order to be available to direct Bad Santa. Have y'all seen Bad Santa?
Uh-uh.
I don't recall.
Not that I can remember.
All right, that is one definitely to not watch with your parents.
Okay.
Okay.
When they say bad, it's bad.
Fun, but bad. This movie totaled $185 million in ticket sales at the U.S. box office and $47 million internationally for a worldwide box office total of just over $230 million. It cost $32 million to make, so the net profit was around $200 million. But also, Elf has done over $135 million in home video sales, plus streaming, plus merch. So it's made probably over $400 million.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why this is number one.
Yeah.
Big part of it.
I mean, those numbers are
Have
up there.
Have y'all done anything else with numbers like that?
There were a couple, I'm trying to remember what they were. There were a couple of
And
blockbusters.
we've had some that have been pretty big, but
Yeah.
I mean, and this is back in 2003 too. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
big money now.
I think maybe Die Hard came close.
I could see that.
Die Hard was big. Love Actually was big.
I'm curious how it compares to like The Grinch.
Yeah, it beats The Grinch, but
Wow.
The Grinch did well.
Yeah.
And I think the number one in this category is actually Home Alone. I think Home Alone
Oh,
did the
yeah.
highest
Okay.
Makes sense.
all-time box office for a holiday film. All right, here are more numbers. Big, big numbers for Elf. Our first number is 843, which is the number of acres in Central Park, which is where the film culminates.
Really? I realized it was that big. That's crazy.
1987. This is the year that the real Gimbel's department store in New York closed for good, after once being the largest chain of department stores in the world. So Gimbel's was real at one point in time. 2100. 2100 is the calorie count in Buddy's spaghetti breakfast. 10,000, as in 10,000 fake snowballs used in the snowball fight seen in this film.
10,000?
10,000.
Wow.
I mean, he throws them so fast, it makes sense.
Yeah, they must have had a lot of takes. Probably had a lot of misses. They only showed the ones that hit.
Yeah.
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 Finally, Elf has a score of 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and we'll all give our own reviews and scores later on. By the way, it was a 3.4 a year ago when this countdown started, but that's not unusual for holiday films to climb over time, and that is called nostalgia.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Most of them climb. So any of these shock y'all on these facts?
No, it's funny you mentioned the Gimbels and how it used to be a department store. It kind of reminds me of like what Sears is. And maybe one day we'll be having Sears as a department store in a movie because it's gone out of business. And
Yeah.
it brings back that memory.
Yeah, I believe in Miracle on 34th Street, which is a film we did just a few weeks ago, number 6 on our countdown. Gimbels is mentioned in that.
Oh, yeah.
And so back in the 40s when that film was made, Gimbels was thriving.
Wow.
And New York was full of large department stores that all competed with each other.
Yeah, okay.
Times have changed. Before the malls.
I'm wondering what the fake snowballs were made out of.
I was wondering.
I mean, 10,000, that's a lot.
I saw that in the research, but it was a chemical.
A chemical.
Yeah.
Okay. And they had to make 10,000 of them. Wow.
Yeah, I think it had the word styrene in it.
Like a one-time use, too? I'd have to imagine.
Probably. It's probably a microplastic that we're all part of now. It's part of us.
Part of us.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's move on to the setting and how it got us into the holiday spirit. So let's think. Let's start with Santa. How do we think Santa did in this film?
Which one?
The one from the North Pole.
Okay.
The real one.
The real Santa?
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
I mean, I thought he looked real. I mean, he had a real beard, right? I mean, it looked real to me.
Yeah, that had to be real.
Yeah. I was surprised. He probably was the least joyful Santa I've seen in a Christmas movie. I realized early on that he really wasn't like the main center of this movie at all.
Right.
So I think the actor played a perfect part, but I don't feel like there was much character development from Santa.
And you felt like he portrayed more of the stress of the season, like, we got to get these toys out. Type.
Yeah, kind of more like the CEO
Yeah.
of Christmas, more
Right.
than the Santa we know.
And really concerned about the lack of spirit worldwide. You could see it beating him down.
That part is his job. I get that.
Right.
And what do we think of the mall Santa or the department store Santa?
They're funny. It's funny because you can go take a picture with Santa at the mall or whatever. You know that that's not the real Santa, so it's funny to relate that to Buddy and how he's so passionate about, you're not Santa, you're not the real Santa. I know the real Santa. Like that's funny to relate to.
Yeah, he's kind of stereotypic to the mall Santa
Yeah.
with the fake beard and the just dressing up and
ho, ho, ho.
trying to hurry up and get the kids through.
Yeah, he was definitely from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the Bronx. I don't know my accents, but he wasn't from Manhattan.
Right.
And
Or the North Pole.
True.
and he didn't display any, even though he was playing a character, to get in a whole fight with someone over his job wasn't very in the spirit to bring it at all.
Yeah, the real Santa would have shown more restraint. Maybe fought him off with a candy cane or something.
I thought they did a good job at the end with the reindeer, though.
You like those reindeer?
Yeah, I liked them.
I'm sure they were real, huh? Until they got off the ground, but there are real reindeer
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decent CGI.
for 2003.
Yeah, I think so.
Liked it.
Well, we do know that Buddy really liked his candy and his syrup, and he definitely a sweet tooth going, and they definitely portrayed that well with the Pop-Tarts and everything for breakfast that morning. We didn't really see too much of the eggnog or hot cocoa, that kind of stuff, did we? No.
I just saw the eggnog in the beginning when they were
It's like a
the
shot,
elves
right?
are taking
All the elves,
shots.
yeah.
Yeah. That's when I was like, okay, that was for the adults that are watching.
True. But we did see the world's best cup of coffee.
Yes. That's funny.
That was
I
so funny.
have that marked down as one of my funny scenes.
Me too. And Snowman, we just saw the snowman at the beginning when he's talking to him
Yeah.
and he's walking through. And
Oh,
it's-
yeah, the claymation style
Yeah.
snowman
Yeah.
at the North Pole,
I love
Leon.
it.
giving him directions.
Yeah.
All right, trees. Let's do trees. We saw a few.
They did a great job with the trees. I mean, it's New York, so we got to see the one in the department stores, but also the big one in the Rockefeller Center. Yep.
That was like probably the cutest little clip when they're, on the date and she shows him the Rockefeller tree. And it was just, it's a good ode to the Rockefeller tree and just what it is and bringing that back. I think that embraced like New York Christmas very well.
Yeah. She saw how much he appreciated the trees and fed that spark with the Rockefeller tree.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
if
was
you,
so
If you
sweet.
think that's beautiful, come
Yeah.
see this.
Yeah.
And I think it sparked a little something in her again. That, she's viewing it in a different way because of how he's viewing it.
Right through his eyes.
It's true. Something that you just kind of get used to maybe kind of takes the magic away until you realize, oh, yeah, This is really magic. And I think, again, like you said, Ashley, she was looking at it through his eyes and she remembered, wow, it really is. It's huge and bright and beautiful.
Yeah.
Through the visitor's eyes, her little staycation.
That's right.
And what about the tree in the Hobbs house?
Reminded me a little bit of Christmas Vacation with it not fitting in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, how are we going to get the angel at the top?
Yeah.
Was it the angel or star? I can't remember, but
I think they were doing a star.
doing the star at that one. Yeah. And it's bent over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love how Michael was just like, but, buddy, just chop this down. And it was really like, how it used to be. And so it was just like, didn't matter how hard it was going to be. He was going to get it in the house because he loved the tree so much.
Which makes sense because when you see it out, it might not look so big until you get it inside, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa,
So
wait,
different.
this tree is really huge,
Yeah, all of a sudden 12 feet's a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was cute to see how Buddy is waiting outside for Michael to come out of school. And Michael kind of resents him and pushes him off and all that. And then they go into the snowball fight and they end up becoming friends. And then they get the tree and he's like, kind of, admires Buddy at that point. And it was
Right.
cute to see the change. And then later on, let Michael change his dad's view on him as well. So,
Correct.
Yeah. Any other decorations come to mind? No mistletoe in this one.
I loved the snowflakes that Buddy did in the house and in the department store at the so-called North Pole where Santa was going to come. Those were amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, someone did a lot of cutting,
I
right?
think it was corporate.
yeah.
Me too. That's funny.
It reminds me of being in elementary school and making those and hanging them, in the weeks leading up to the Christmas break. We would make those and hang them from the ceiling.
Yeah, you know what, though? They're a little harder than what you think to make them come out good, don't you think?
Well, that good, yeah.
I know you got to fold your paper and cut it just right, but
Yeah, they didn't have elementary students making those.
no, they
Or
didn't.
Corporate.
elementary scissors. You need the long, good scissors, not those little chunky ones that are dull.
Yeah. I love that scene. And I think we talked about it when the movie was playing, how he wasn't the best elf, but then he just did that so naturally and so well. And it was just, I think an ode to, you may not feel a certain way in one situation like the best, but you can be in a different situation to him, a different world, and those skills really come to life. So it was, I think, a good ode to a human trait that we all have.
Definitely. He did it in one night.
Yeah, I think Timothy brought it up, how much he did overnight. And we were saying, well, at the North Pole, if you built 85 Etch-a-Sketches in a day, you were slow. But translating that to the real world or New York world, he was super skilled. Mm-hmm. Whether it was cutting snowflakes or any kind of decorating, putting Legos together, and so forth. Okay, well, let's move on to the characters and actors. Clearly, the star is Will Ferrell as Buddy the Elf. He broke out as a Saturday Night Live cast member, then went on to be a comedy film lead actor. And I'll just name some films. Old School, Talladega Nights, Anchorman, Step Brothers, and our kids actually know him as the voice of animated characters in Curious George and Megamind. Recent success has brought Will Ferrell to 4 Emmy Awards as a producer of the tremendously successful HBO series Succession. So do you all have a favorite Will Ferrell movie? Or did we already mention it?
I initially thought Step Brothers. I could watch that movie over and over again. But I think if I had to choose between Step Brothers and Talladega Nights, it probably would be Talladega Nights.
Okay.
There's so many quotes that I can remember from that movie, and I can't do that with much other movie. So I would definitely say Talladega Nights.
Yeah, I would probably say Elf is number 1 and then Talladega Nights number 2. I appreciate Will Ferrell's talent, but he's not my favorite style of comedy, kind of the goofy humor. But yeah, he plays the role Elf perfectly. He's the perfect fit for that sort of character with the goofiness.
I agree with Timothy. It's like he brings the childlike wonder, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in his eyes.
Of an
I don't know
elf.
how he does that. Yeah, in the Elf. He does it so well.
Yeah, I remember seeing Old School with my friend in Houston, Eric Kanicki, shout out. And we were cracking up. I mean, it was a late night drinking movie right when it came out. And I didn't know what to expect. I had seen him on Saturday Night Live. Of these that I've listed, it was one of the first. And so it was cool to see him in a movie role. And he does. Y'all are right. He plays that screwball really well. And Anchorman's funny too. It's a little more geared towards an older generation, I think. Younger folks didn't experience all the 70s news sets with the colored suits and all that stuff and the big hair. That's kind of fading. All right, our next star is Zooey Deschanel as Jovi. She's probably best known now for a 7-year run as the lead on the 2010s Fox sitcom New Girl. She's also been in many films like Almost Famous, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Bridge to Terabithia, 500 Days of Summer, and looking ahead to our next season, she was in a very funny rom-com by the name of Failure to Launch. Hint, hint. Besides singing, as she does in this film, Elf, she's quite the musician. Zooey Deschanel plays the keyboard, the ukulele, the banjo, and drums. In fact, her bio is littered with musical credits for songs in her films. Plus, she did the theme for New Girl, and she won a Grammy for a song called So Long in Disney's 2011 version of Winnie the Pooh. Also, for you HGTV viewers, she's engaged to one of the Property Brothers.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does a great job singing in the shower. She has a beautiful voice. And then at the end, when she starts leading the Christmas carol at the end to get the Christmas spirit back alive, she does a good job. I don't know. She's a good singer.
Yeah.
I think because I've seen New Girl a few times. I know that's a show that people can watch over and over again. I've probably only seen it all 7 seasons once, but she's a completely different actor in that show versus this movie. And it was nice to see that she could play both because she was, I feel like, very serious. And like, I kind of wish she had a little bit more character development because I feel like it was like coming and portraying something else. But I think it just shows her ability to become different versions of a character in movies. And a lot of people can't do that. Like Will Ferrell is a good example of that. Since I was thinking about it, even in the trailer, I was thinking about the parents scene. I'm like, that is exactly like Step Brothers. You know, it's the parents kind of bickering and him building the bunk shelves and it, you know, just going all over and stuff. So I think that's a really impressive way to see what she can do.
Yeah, on Will Ferrell, he has attempted more serious roles. I know Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler have also given that a go and to some success, but he just doesn't really get there. You see his face and you want to laugh right away. It's just,
He's
he
definitely
can't
a
even
funny
have
guy.
a serious
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
So what did y'all think of Jovi?
I mean, she did a great job playing this character. Again, the shower scene is so funny where she's singing and he comes in and picks up the end of the line and she's like, what? And she comes out, you know, what are you doing? And then she's kind of intrigued by him. I think she kind of likes his innocence and how much holiday spirit he has. And she really portrays that well.
Yeah, she's obviously got something going on. I think she's struggling to get by. You know, she said
Well, yeah, she's taking a shower at her work.
her water's
because she said
off
her
and-
water's off, right?
So the holidays aren't necessarily making her happy. It's more of a drudgery. And so here comes this guy who's full of life and fun and makes her see everything a different way. What'd you think of Jovi, Timothy?
Oh, I think she was great. I mean, I like how she, like we were just talking about, how she changes from kind of, not grouchy, but a little pessimistic towards the whole, she's having to do all this extra work at work to set up for Christmas and Santa and all that. And I think she's a little resentful towards that. And then Buddy comes in and, you know, his like charm and admiration for Christmas really rubs off on her. And I think she sees it through a different lens, like we were saying. And and they both complement each other.
Yeah.
All right. Our next character is Walter Hobbs, Buddy's biological father, played by James Caan. He started as a Broadway actor and moved into film roles in the 60s, but really broke out as Sonny in The Godfather. He was Academy Award nominated for that role. He's also been in Brian's Song, The Gambler, Misery, Honeymoon in Vegas, and many, many others. And so, Misery, have y'all seen Misery?
No.
You need to watch that. It's not exactly a feel-good movie. The title's pretty accurate, but it's good and it's fun
Yeah.
in its own way. And then Brian's song, that used to be a regular on TV when I was a kid. And it starts out as this fun football movie, and then it just becomes a full-blown tearjerker. And it's kind of a downer. But he's a great actor.
Okay.
And there's a reason he plays that part. And he's always ready to blow up. So when he's Sonny in The Godfather, he's the hothead.
Mm-hmm.
He's
got that look.
Oh, yeah. He puts the family in peril. And he blew up a little bit in this film, too.
Yeah.
So what do we think of Wolter Hobbs?
I think when I first saw him, I was like, he is, for some reason, the perfect actor for this. Just the look of him and just like his mood and how he was so consistent with his mood throughout. But the casting was great. And I think he wanted to break into what Buddy was showing, but he didn't know how to. So I think him and Buddy were good for each other within that too. But I think he did exactly what he needed to do in this role. And I wish there was like a part 2 to see how he went through and he was decorating the tree and things like that. But I think he did a great job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wolter Hobbs is the stereotypical movie New Yorker. He's all about the grind. He's all about his job. And Buddy is, second place in his life for sure. He's an afterthought. And then he gets kind of changed into where now Wolter Hobbs is going along with Buddy towards the end. And he realizes that there is more than just going to work, working countless hours. There is more to life than that. And Buddy does a good job of showing that to him.
Yeah, I think it's hard sometimes. I think he does a good job of playing the role of, okay, I'm going to be a good provider for my family. I'm going to go, and you get sucked into that role. And you forget that sometimes what your family needs is just you around more. Not that you're necessarily a bad guy, even though sometimes you kind of come across as a bad guy, but that you forget, okay, well, I'm going to work. I have a demanding job, but I'm paid well, and I have a wife and kid to support at home. But what I'm trying to say is that it's hard to find that balance in life where...
Yeah, it is a tough balance because they have a very
course.
nice home in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
we all know
if he
New York is not cheap.
drops off in his performance at work, that's not where they're going to live.
Right.
And so his child is plugged into that school in that area. And so there is pressure on him, and that's a competitive business he's in a competitive town. So like Timothy said, he's playing that big city role, and it's a tough one because the part that wears on the viewer, I think, about Wolter is that when he's around, he's grumpy. So maybe you're around less because you're in the grind, but when you're around, at least be nice.
Yeah, like maybe just let the nuns have the books.
Oh, yeah. To begin.
I mean, when you start off like that, like, oh my gosh, okay, well,
Yeah.
you don't seem too nice, like it's for the children, the orphans. Come on, just let them have the books.
Yeah, and that was full circle because the nuns had saved Buddy when he was a baby.
True.
Yeah,
true.
I was going to say, and his son is an orphan.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That was pretty clever.
Yeah. I think Wolter walking away from his job at the end said a lot about what Buddy and Michael and just like Christmas was doing to him because he wasn't afraid of that anymore. I think because his life felt more full and he knew that clearly something wasn't working with the job anyways, and maybe he wasn't being listened to, and there might have been other factors, but I think that really pushed him to just be like, it's not all about the work and I'll figure it out. So I think that was a good moment.
Right.
All right, our next character is Walter's wife, Emily Hobbs, played by Mary Steenburgen. She won the 1980 Best Supporting Actress Oscar for Melvin and Howard. She's also been in many other films, including Philadelphia and The Help, actually over 80 films. So I'll mention Step Brothers. That's another one she's in with Will Ferrell. Also, Four Christmases, our 37th ranked holiday film. And The Proposal, which is a stone cold lock for our upcoming rom-com countdown next season. By the way, she's married to Ted Danson, and they've been together like 30 years or something.
I don't know who that is.
He was the lead bartender on Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, just a different generation.
Gotcha.
Have you seen The Good Place?
Yes.
He was in The Good Place.
Who was he in The Good Place?
The main guy.
Yeah, with white hair. Yeah.
Is he an angel?
He's like the head. He's the one that people, whenever they go to have, it shows in the show what happens. But
he's the screener.
he's a screener and kind of like the guide of what's
Yeah.
going on. But I think they portray him as an angel, but
Yeah.
it's not always the case.
Yeah, there's a twist there. I remember that. So what do we think of Emily?
She takes Buddy in with open arms from the beginning. She has no resentment towards him at all. As soon as Wolter told her about Buddy, she never was like, oh, this is terrible. Never saw it as a bad thing. And she was very happy, welcomed him with open arms. And they walk in together into the apartment and the whole thing's decorated with the Christmas stuff. And she's like, oh, okay, this is, not too bad. And just goes along with it, eats his meals and his syrup on the spaghetti and all that. So it was cool to see the contrast of them two, the husband and the wife.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't pick up before that she was Will Ferrell's mom in Step Brothers. Maybe that was what my brain was ringing to in the trailer. So they must have had a good working relationship to bring into the next, kind of like Adam Sandler does. But yeah, she really does. That's a great point, Timothy, because she really brings that in. And the scene where she sees Michael on the TV, on the news, there's maple syrup, like new maple syrup on there. Like she's really, she's a mom. She knows what he likes and wants to help with that. She really kind of took him in as if he were her own 32-year-old son.
Yeah.
And then
32-year-old elf.
And then one of the last scenes when she gives him the Christmas gift, and it's a massive jar of maple syrup. It's just, he likes what he likes, and she's not trying to change him. And I think that's really important. And Buddy has never had a mother figure, it seems like. So I think she, just as a character, was so crucial to the movie. And I think like most people probably just like look past it. But I think she really just embodied a family unit and a nurturing position. And Christmas too, since it's not always the mom that's doing the heavy loading, but like they know what presents to get and all the things, and are kind of the main person in that. And I think that's important in movies, and Christmas movies especially.
Yeah, I feel like too she has the look like of just the look of the mom, She just has a sweet face to her. She just, she plays that character well. And she's just the sweet mom.
Well, if you think of what's going on here, and we'll get to the scenes in the arc soon, but like Ashley said, she is a catalyst for what needs to change in their lives. Because she can see that, and she sees Buddy as change, and she sees the need for change, and here it comes in the form of Buddy the elf.
And she welcomes it. Yeah.
And I wonder, because she is that way, if Wolter was a little bit more like that in their early relationship. Maybe I'm making things up, but I'd have to imagine. So I think as soon as she met Buddy, she knew that this would be good for Wolter, even if he didn't know it. Maybe because that's how he used to be before he got so wrapped up in his career.
Right.
True.
Yeah, like what she was originally attracted to at the beginning of their relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about another character, Michael Hobbs, Buddy's half-brother, played by Daniel Tay. Daniel retired from acting fairly young and is a Yale graduate who teaches SAT test prep courses.
Wow. That's
interesting.
interesting. Yeah. What did he do? Any other films besides?
He did like 2 or 3 more in his little bio I saw.
He probably cashed out on Elf and said, I'm going to go do what I like to do, and that's study and help people study.
Yeah, I don't know what he got paid on this. I don't know that he got the big money on Elf.
That's
but
true. That's true.
He was obviously intelligent, so
Yeah.
he could cash in on that.
I thought he was a big component to the movie. He was actually who I wrote down as, minor character that shines, because he had that Christmas spirit that Buddy needed, and just kind of that ability to be a kid, but he was, very New York, very, looked like he was from the Bronx even as a kid, which I thought was really funny. But I think just as a child actor, he did a great job, and who that character represented was great. So I'm surprised that he didn't continue acting, because, he kind of had an in there.
Yeah.
Seriously.
He was good. He was 11 in this film.
Wow.
Okay. Playing 11 or?
He was 11 in real life.
Okay.
Probably playing about 11 also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. He was the first one to go from resenting Buddy to accepting Buddy. and was the beginning of the change for his father, Wolter, because, the mom was always on board with it. And so he kind of dismissed that. Wolter dismissed that. And I think once the son, Michael Hobbs, started, bringing it up to him, and then they showed up at work and that whole scene and everything where he's like, you only care about your career and all that. That, I think, was the final straw for Wolter to like Buddy.
Yeah, I think the snowball scene was kind of like he realized, hey, he's like a big brother, looking out for me. He's helping me out with these, so-called bullies, I guess, who were throwing the snowballs at them at the beginning. And he kind of acted like the big brother. Buddy kind of acted, like the big brother and helped him out and got the guy's back, for acting like that. And he was like, hey, this is kind of cool, I've got someone who's got my back here,
I think
I love that scene.
helped Wolter to see Buddy as his son, seeing him with his son, and Michael admiring Buddy. I think that when they both walked into Wolter's work, I think that was a moment that he was like, okay, now I can't be the only one that, doesn't see this in him, and he's my biological son. So he could have, I think that was the first time he envisioned Buddy actually being in the family.
Yeah, and Michael was longing for some Christmas spirit, obviously. He was all excited about the tree. And
yeah, that's true.
He's an only child in a Manhattan apartment, and he welcomed the sibling also.
Right.
He was looking for company and the holiday fun. All right, a few more characters I'll mention real quick. We have Papa Elf, Buddy's adoptive father, and our narrator, played by Bob Newhart, who was a comedian and sitcom actor from going back to the 60s, 70s, 80s. Ed Asner as Santa Claus. He was on the Mary Tyler Moore Show in the 70s and then had his own show later called Lou Grant. Peter Dinklage plays Miles Finch, who we also know from Game of Thrones, where he won 4 Emmys.
Really?
Yeah. So any of the minor characters or others that I didn't mention catch your interest?
No, I think it was funny how in the mailroom, Buddy arrives in the mailroom and everyone's kind of giving him like that stare, like, who is this guy? And there's kind of the tough looking guy next to him. And then Buddy is kind of talking to him and this guy's dismissing him. And then they end up becoming best friends. And next thing, they're sitting there drinking the so-called syrup in the coffee, but it's probably whiskey or like some sort of liquor. And they end up drunk and then having a great time in the mailroom, dancing and everything. I think that scene is awesome. There's so many great scenes in it, but that scene is awesome, and that's probably my minor character pick. Either him or Miles Finch, but probably him because no one knows who that guy is. I mean, everyone's seen the actor for Miles Finch. Yeah, everyone's seen him and knows who he is, but like truly minor character was the guy the tough guy in the mailroom for me.
Yes, I thought Papa Elf because he's so distinctive that he, other than Buddy, is who I remember from this film. And another great actor that perfectly played this character. But I also picked up, I've been watching Dancing with the Stars, and Andy Richter was in this film. And I've never, I know he's a comedian, but I've never seen him in anything. So it was fun. That was like a moment where modern things are still relevant back to a movie. But again, Papa Elf is a really distinctive character that I think really is like the beginning of this movie and sets the tone for the rest of the actors to follow suit.
Yeah.
I like the department store manager or the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he was a department in the department store manager.
Yeah.
And he was just fun because I like how he said, corporate's coming down on me, and took it really seriously. Ends up playing Santa in the end.
Yeah.
We stick together. We go down as a team. Yeah, that's funny.
I like that guy. And if you noticed, his name tag said Wanda, and that's because Wanda Sykes was going to play that part in this film, and something happened. I don't remember exactly, but so they, in homage to her, they kept his name as Wanda.
That's funny. Okay, well, let's move on to the scenes. You already mentioned, Timothy, one of your favorite scenes earlier. What about you, Ashley? Do you have a favorite scene that sticks out? I know there are so many funny ones that come to mind.
Yeah, I have a lot of favorites. think one of the funniest is the Jack in the Box scene. He just keeps opening up. It's just first like that is such kid humor, but it's so funny to me. Along with like the revolving door scene.
Yeah.
It's just that childlike just joy and humor. But one that really that I didn't pick up any other time that I've watched the movie was the scene where he was in the department store looking at the Santa lingerie part, and it was just kind of funny because it's such an adult joke.
Yeah.
But he's looking at that like that's not like Santa wouldn't wear that, but this is Santa, and it was just
For a special someone.
Yeah.
yeah, who was his dad. But I think all of those scenes were just so funny. But I think my favorite, I know I have a lot because I love this movie, but the mailroom dance scene was it was so funny. Like that was such a feel good part of the movie for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all look miserable in there, and then he comes in and they have a couple shots of whiskey, and next thing you know, they're all dancing and everything. But I will say that's not my favorite scene. My favorite scene is the snowball scene when they get hit with a couple snowballs, and Buddy looks over at him. He's like, "Quick, make some snowballs!" And he turned back over. It goes to Michael.
Michael, yeah.
It goes to Michael, and he's made like one or two, and then it pans back over to Buddy, and he's got like a stack of them and a whole armful of them.
And you can hear it.
You can hear him making them real quick. And then next thing you know, he's just firing them off. Bam, 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 bam. And you see this little spark in Michael's eye. And I think that's my favorite. That's the beginning of the transition from resenting Buddy to everyone liking Buddy, including the dad. And that's my favorite scene.
Yeah. I like Ashley said, how he's in the department store and there's a sign for someone special, and it's like the lingerie, the little Santa lingerie. And then the next thing you know, you see that the dad is opening, he sends it to his dad because it's for someone special. I think that's so funny when he opens it up and he holds it up, and then the secretary walks in and he like quickly puts it away and under, like, this is so inappropriate, but it's coming from his son.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because I thought the scene kind of stopped there, but then they added it in with the gift, and it just like doubled down on that.
Well done, right? Well, great writing, just
so
setting
well
that up.
done, yeah.
Yeah, I like the original meeting between Buddy and Wolter, the singing telegram.
Oh,
How
yeah.
the receptionist is very welcoming, and they're all going along with, oh, this is going to be a little fun, pranky guy coming over dressed up in a costume to sing for this executive.
A serious executive.
And yeah, he's had these before, he's like, go ahead and get it over with. And then boom, the shoe falls. What's the word I want to say?
A harsh slap of reality.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny how Wolter plays along too. He's like, "Oh yeah, and Santa sent you from the North Pole," and he's like, "Yeah." I mean,
Santa called you.
yeah, it's just so cute how at first he's like, "Just okay, let's get this over with. I'm gonna play along with you," but then Buddy is like, "How does he know?"
Well, and then it's like it went from this kind of light moment where he was getting a slight break from his real serious issues in his company, to all of a sudden he's got a much more serious issue in his family and the real world. And that's where it all changes.
Yeah.
You have one?
I'll add one more. It's funny to see him come into New York City and how the Santa told him not to eat the gum. It's not free candy. And he tries one, and then he's like, ooh, and he starts picking out a bunch of them. And then next thing you know, he's probably eaten like 8 of them. And then he's just doing the revolving door, and then the world's best cup of coffee. Everyone puts that on there.
Yeah.
Any little coffee shop will say that, and he takes it literally, and congratulations. So it's funny seeing him adjust to even the escalator.
Yeah.
When he goes on the escalator and he's doing the full splits up the escalator ride,
Right.
and seeing him adjust to like human life.
And that's part of why this is the #1 film, because it's got all those elements, and then it's got the fish out of water that Timothy's mentioning here.
Yeah.
It's bringing in all the redemption, the funny, fun holiday stuff, and then it's got the classic element of fish out of water, which we always find funny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it has a classic element too of New York Christmas.
That too.
Yeah.
And they did that well, I think, in the beginning, really embodied just in those scenes, New York, and then just how
Him
that's a
getting hit
totally
by the
different
taxi.
Yeah,
I know, it's a
the
totally
yellow
different
ones don't stop.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and You brought up the gum scene. He was told, if you find gum on the street, leave it. And so you can see him, he's like picking it off and he's like looking around like, should I? And he puts it in his mouth and then he like, just like I'm getting away with something and I'm sneaking it. And he keeps chewing it. It's so funny and so disgusting at the same time.
That may have been the only time he was disobedient the whole movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Every other time he does just as he's told.
Yes.
The shower scene, she yells at him, "Don't look at me." He covers his eyes, "Get out." And he runs right into the wall. He's,
Yeah,
he
so
does
he's not looking. Yeah. But
does
then
exactly what he's told.
True.
What's the sense of hurting my friend?
Really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Get out! Don't look at me! Get out!
All right. Quotable lines. Do you all have any quotable lines that you'd like to bring back?
Well, of course, there's "Don't be a cotton-headed ninny-muggins." That's,
Very true.
yeah, that's just classic.
That's just a word of wisdom right there.
True.
Those are words of wisdom right there.
A trendy audio that was really trendy last year was when the Gimbals manager is like, 10 a.m., Santa's coming, and he just yells, "Santa!" And it's just such a fun, it's just a good Will Ferrell, like, screaming moment. But I always, like, look forward to that quote in this movie, and it never gets old.
Yeah. I mean, mine was, I kind of already said it. If you find gum on the street, leave it.
Yeah.
And then he didn't.
Yeah, I like that one. I like the Santa and the world's best cup of coffee. I just think that's so funny because he barges in there and he's like, "Congratulations, you did it. World's best cup of coffee." And
Yeah.
everyone's looking at him like, "What do you mean?" And then it full circle comes around where he takes Jovi to that coffee shop and blindfolds her. And he's like, "What do you think?" And she's like, "It tastes like what did she say?
A bad
A
cup
bad cup of coffee." And he's like, "It's the world's best cup of coffee." Like,
Yeah, he takes everything literally.
yeah.
Well, also when he's in the elevator and for the first time he pushes the buttons and they light up and he's like, "Oh, it's like a Christmas tree." And then he just punches all of them and it's, tons of floors. It's going to stop at every floor now.
I cannot believe that the gentleman that was riding in the elevator was going on each floor, didn't
Right.
get out and do another one. But I kind of was like, maybe that's just New York, he knows that's
Right.
just faster than waiting for the next one. But it's a cute moment.
Hello. Oh, beautiful. Looks like a Christmas tree. Sorry I can't ride with you the rest of the way up, but this is where my dad works. Well, oh, I forgot to give you a hug.
Mine is, "You smell like beef and cheese. You're not Santa."
What do you think Santa smells like? The real Santa.
Candy canes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was going to say frosting,
Hot cocoa,
something sweet.
cookies.
Yeah. All right. Well, the moral of the story or a main character arc, what do you think?
Well, I think not so much moral of the story, but a common theme throughout the whole thing is Buddy's always staying so positive and sees the best in everyone.
Yeah.
And even when they shoot him down, he's still just kind of keeps a smile on his face and it's like, whatever, and keeps going. I guess you could pull a moral out of that any way you want to see it. I don't know. It's cool to see him always do that. And also, like, the character arc would probably, for me, would be Walter Hobbs.
Sure.
Seeing him go from resenting Buddy, then dressing up as Santa at the end and distracting the city patrol, the park police or whoever they were on the horses.
Rangers.
Oh, the Rangers, yeah. The Rangers on the horses and him running out there. So, yeah, I don't think in the beginning of the movie he would have done that. So to see him come around to appreciate Buddy is cool.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was the joy that one person brings, like, affects all around them, because there is that scene I believe it's when Santa and the reindeer and Buddy are up in the sky, and it just shows everyone singing, the men in the mailroom and the young girl that he briefly met, everyone was just joyful. And I think Christmas brings a lot of joy. And I think it's just if you are really consistent in what you're doing and your energy and the mood that you're in, I think it just spreads like a wildfire. And I think that was a really good arc of this movie.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the energy you bring, right? And having that positive energy the whole movie, like Buddy had, definitely brings all the others up for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of all of the different people, like Ashley said, crowds that he inspired, but individually, Walter, Michael, Jovi, even Santa,
Yeah.
and even Emily the mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He really improved all of their lives based upon that positive attitude that Timothy mentioned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The consistent positive attitude.
Yeah, he kept going back to Gimbel's after he was fired from there. And he kept going back to the Empire State Building after the security there threw him out a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So he was not only positive, but he was relentless
Yeah.
and kept going. So lots of lessons here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's portrayed in such a light way that it's like not so in your face. So that's refreshing as well.
Yeah, it makes it more fun.
Okay, hot takes. Does anyone have a hot take on this film?
Mine is I think this is the most untraditional Christmas movie. I know we saw parts of Santa and eggnog and elves and little components, but the main highlight really was building the family unit and that joy in anything, whatever it could have been. And in this case, it happened to be Christmas spirit. But I think the last time I watched it was actually not during Christmas. It was a different time, and I still felt like I could watch it because it has enough of just a story that can be like watched at any time because it's just a feel-good movie. But yeah, I think it's not very traditional, especially for that time of Christmas movies.
Okay.
All right.
My hot take is that this is Will Ferrell's best movie. I said it earlier that I don't really seek out his kind of humor, but in this particular movie, in this role, it works out perfectly. I've watched Step Brothers and Anchorman, and I see it's funny, but it's just sometimes too corny. But in this movie, the corniness lines up perfectly with Buddy the Elf because he's an elf. Like, he's kind of like a child, but he's a grown person playing this in New York City, a very serious hustle and bustle city. So he fits perfectly for it. And that's why I think this is Will Ferrell's best movie.
All right. My hot take is I don't think any wife would immediately think it's wonderful that her husband has a son from another woman that's just going to appear into their lives.
Yeah. Without questioning first, how?
Yeah.
I mean, you might gradually get to that point, but you're not going to immediately think, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were trying to speak to how miserable she might have been.
Yeah.
That she was like, okay, well, it's change. And we're older, and it's love, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree.
That's
with
my
you,
hot
though.
take.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No questions asked. We're going to
I
take
mean, I
this
think you
kid
could
in.
get to that point, but I don't think that's going to be the immediate reaction.
I agree, too. But that's what they were trying to do.
Do you have a hot take?
I know. What's yours?
My hot take is that we'll call it the final act or the third act. The Central Park scene was a little too long. I feel like they could have condensed that a little bit. I know they went to a lot of trouble to get the sleigh and the reindeer there, and they had a big crowd. And so they had to maximize what was going on. But in my opinion, they could have minimized it a little bit, been a little bit more efficient with that little story, because it was ready to wrap up. We were ready to wrap up. We could see where everything was headed, and just tighten it up a little bit, shave a few minutes off the film. It was an hour and 37 minutes, which is a good number, but it could have been even tighter, like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. But he didn't need to be fixing the sleigh for that long.
Right.
And maybe the whole part of the scene where Santa's talking about, I am real, I have the list, this is what you want, blah, blah, blah. With Michael could have been cut down. It could have been the same scene, but cut down, and then he takes the nice list and runs off with it. Happened a little quicker.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, the parent guide is PG. Do we feel like that's age appropriate?
I think so.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean,
agree.
would you watch it with your kids or your parents or neither?
Yes.
I think both. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
we
not
just
either.
did that.
I think,
Okay,
yeah. I
just
think
checking.
We just did that. But yeah, I don't think there were any curse words or anything in it that I heard. I didn't notice
They
any.
had funny ones like what's the one?
Son of
that-
a nutcracker,
Yeah.
Yeah.
cotton-headed ninny-muggins.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like Home Alone curse words made up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a few things like the eggnog shots and the laundry and stuff that aren't. But I think that's probably the most PG that it can get, but still being a little adult entertainment.
Yeah.
too.
Keep the adults
Right.
entertained.
It said mild, crude humor at the beginning.
Yeah.
Very mild.
Yeah,
Yeah. Very mild.
Yeah, I wouldn't say crude.
it said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the most edgy part would be when Buddy is calling Miles Finch an elf. That's probably the most.
Right.
Yeah, and how he doubled, tripled, and then quadrupled down, and then he has him in a headlock and still calls him an elf. So that's probably the edgiest part of the whole movie
Yeah,
when you come down to inappropriateness, I guess.
true.
But if you think about it, the only little people that he's ever seen in his life are elves. So he knows that he was
Yeah.
the biggest person there. So he was kind of like the odd one out.
Yeah, he was happy
always.
to
So
see him.
Yeah. So he was the opposite. So it's like for viewers, you're like, okay, maybe this is kind of a harsh joke, but it made sense. Like I don't think he was.
It's well played, and it's very funny how he does double down on him and calls him an angry elf and then a South Pole elf. And
Yeah.
Those were great lines.
yeah.
And you're right. Because of Buddy's origin story, it made sense. He saw him as a friend. He reminded him of back home at the North Pole.
But even that would be child appropriate,
Yeah.
that whole scene.
Totally.
For sure.
All right, let's do the soundtrack. John Debney composed the orchestral score, and the sound and tone was intended to evoke the feel of those old claymation Christmas specials like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and The Year Without a Santa Claus. He also did the music for many, many other films, including Little Giants, Liar Liar, Spy Kids, The Greatest Showman. He was an Academy Award nominee for The Passion of the Christ, and he did the score for our 47th ranked holiday film, Christmas with the Cranks. And let's go through some songs. At the beginning, we have Pennies from Heaven by Louis Prima. By the way, Louis Prima is from New Orleans. Shout out to my old hometown. Santa Baby by Eartha Kitt. Most of us know the Madonna version of that song. This is the older version from the 50s, 60s. In the background, we have The Nutcracker by Tchaikovsky. It was also in the trailer, by the way. We have Baby It's Cold Outside, performed by Will Ferrell, Zooey Deschanel, and that third voice in there was Leon Redbone. And he's kind of an old-time singer, sings some Christmas songs and old standards. And he played the voice of that snowman at the beginning of the film, Leon. So that's
Interesting.
Leon Redbone. Real baritone voice. We had Sleigh Ride by Ella Fitzgerald. You Make Me Feel So Young by Frank Sinatra. And that played for an extended time during their date. And then near the conclusion, in that Central Park scene, we had everyone singing Santa Claus is Coming to Town. What'd y'all think of the music?
I first noted Pennies from Heaven because I feel like it was such a good song for New York. And that was his whole moment when he's, eating the bubble gum and running through the doors and just all the things. It was a perfect song for that. And when I hear that song, I think about this movie. So when you hear it outside the movie and then you hear it in the movie, it makes it even more noticeable. But I just think that was like the perfect choice for that part. And then also that last song, when everyone's singing, that was, I think, a really important part of the movie because it's the caroling and I was looking out for that. But it was just everyone singing together, which was the whole point of like the Christmas spirit and everyone joining in. And I think that was probably like the biggest moment musically and just like visually and morally for the movie. So I liked that it wasn't just a movie, but they tied in a lot of musical components. And I think they did a great job with it.
Yeah, my notable song is You Make Me Feel So Young when they're on their date because I love Frank Sinatra, so that stuck out to me. But I also like how it ties into Jovi seeing Buddy's young spirit. And you can see the symbolism in the song, You Make Me Feel So Young. You know, they're skipping around New York looking at Christmas trees and Christmas lights. And I don't think she would do that on her own. She sounds like she goes home, wakes up, goes to work, and goes home. So to see that contrast with her stood out to me with that song.
Yeah, I agree with Timothy. I feel the same way about that song. And the one, Baby, It's Cold Outside. I mean, I can't hear it without thinking of that scene since I saw the movie of her in the shower singing it. So, kind of what Ashley was saying, it really brings it to life. And I think they did a really good job of picking these songs at the scenes that they put them in. Just, you can tell that it was a lot of thought and effort put into it.
Yeah, they spared no expense on this soundtrack. You've got big names. Anytime you've got Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald in there,
Yeah.
you're doing the real deal. My favorite song here, I liked, it's tough because y'all took them all. I like the unique orchestral score because I've seen this film enough, and if I hear that little tune, it can tie me to the film. So I love it when there's a movie like E.T. or Jurassic Park or Indiana Jones, any of the big ones, where you can hear a little snippet of the symphony playing their
You're
main
talking like
soundtrack.
the thump 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 thump.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's a part at the end after the sleigh scene, and I don't know how to describe it, but it's heavy strings, and that is exclusive to Elf. So I like that. That gives the movie legitimacy in my eyes. Whenever you can do that, Home Alone does that really well.
Yeah. All right, Ashley, it's time to rate this film. 1 through 5, tell us why. And remember that it's a 3.5 on Letterboxd, and decimals are totally okay.
I rated this movie a 4.3, just being the fact that I think it's good for all ages, all times of year, again, since I've watched this outside of Christmas time. And I think it's good for even if you don't like Christmas movies. So it fits that Christmas genre and then it doesn't. And the humor aspects, I think it's a feel-good movie, coming-of-age movie, and it's funny. That's pretty high scored for me. So yeah, I give it a 4.3.
All right.
All right, and Timothy, it's your turn to rate this film 1 to 5. Where are you going?
So when we finished watching it downstairs, I wrote down 4.5. And then after talking about it with everyone and like really picking it apart, it went up to a 4.7. And also watching it with y'all and doing all this is like, it's fun. So I definitely will hold Elf in my heart in a different way now. But also it is a very well done movie where everyone can watch it, all ages can watch it and still think it's funny. And I think that's pretty hard to do in a movie in general. And they nailed it. They had a great soundtrack. They had great actors. Everyone played their part perfectly. So 4.7. Great.
Yeah. For me, I'm going with a 4.8. And the only reason why it's not a 5 for me is because I feel like at the beginning and at the end, it drags a little. I love the middle content, but I feel like even at the beginning, I know that they have to give us the backstory as to why he is the way he is, Buddy. But I feel like I want it to roll a little faster at the beginning, and then I feel that way a little at the end. But I mean, I do love it. And for all the reasons we've already said here tonight, like it's just great, great entertainment, plus just good lessons and puts me in the holiday spirit.
All right. I feel like it's a near perfect film. So I'm going to give it a near perfect score 4.9.
Wow.
I think it's wonderful. I see why for the last year we've been hearing over and over, Elf, Elf, Elf. And it lived up to it. We built to this spot and we all enjoyed it. And it's got all the elements. They even got the elves right, which is so hard to do in these films. If you watch the other films in our countdown, very few do. The music, the score, as Timothy mentioned, the lessons, it hits all the beats. 4.9 to me.
When you say you've been hearing Elf, 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 what do you mean by that?
So we ask at the end of every episode, what's your favorite holiday film? And we just keep hearing Elf.
Elf. Okay, I see.
And we are reminded why now.
All right. Well, Ashley, do you recommend this film? And to whom would you recommend it? It's probably more like, who would you not recommend? Is there anyone you would not?
I don't think there's anyone I wouldn't recommend it to.
Right.
I think it's a good movie for any age.
Yeah.
I think if I had to recommend it to anyone, it would definitely be people that haven't seen it, of course. But out of those people, I think probably for people that don't like Christmas movies, because again, I think it's a really good like gateway to getting in that spirit, but not full-fledged, your traditional Christmas movie. So it's a good gateway to get in the spirit. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. And Timothy, would you recommend this film? And if so, to whom?
Absolutely, I would recommend this film, and I would recommend it to someone who just needs a little lighthearted laugh. Someone who's might not be in the best mood or doesn't think that the holidays are super joyful. Someone who's dreading the holidays, this would be great for them. Even if they don't watch it as a holiday lover, just to see the funny little blips of here and there, the little corny humor that you would never think of because it's in a holiday setting. It allows someone who's not super holiday motivated or excited to enjoy this film.
I totally agree with Timothy. I would recommend it to anyone, but especially to people who maybe, like Timothy was saying, who has a hard time getting into the holiday spirit, because you cannot sit through this film without laughing. I mean, it just has some really funny scenes in it. I think it puts you in a good mood. It has to make you have a smile on your face. So I recommend it to anyone. I think everyone can enjoy it. But again, I think the people who maybe the holidays make them a little sad or they have something going on in their life, at least this has a good, funny twist to it.
Okay. And I will recommend it to everyone you all recommended it to. And also anyone who does not like Will Ferrell movies. Because I think they could find some joy in it. True. And like Timothy said, this role was made for him. I don't think anyone else could have pulled it off. And his screwball nature just ties in so well.
I don't even think Jim Carrey could have done that. And he's goofy like that too, or even Adam Sandler. I think Will Ferrell was the perfect one for that.
I agree. He has something like the innocent look in his eye. You know, Jim Carrey does all the faces, but just Will Ferrell, I mean, he really brings back the childlike.
Yeah, they ask him, why are you smiling? Smiling's my favorite, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to have those eyes, maybe curly hair. I don't know, just certain physical features. He has to be kind of big and goofy.
Yeah.
And he just fits in there.
It's not an intense look at all.
No,
it's just a fit.
Yeah. I don't think Adam Sandler or Jim Carrey can get to that level of kind of making fun of themselves to get to that childlike nature. So out of those three, Will Ferrell's definitely the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ashley, what is your favorite holiday film?
I would say The Grinch. I think The Grinch is very similar in the storytelling, and I love the idea of how it's built around a joyful community, and they all are so strong in what they believe about Christmas and just their beliefs of a happy little life and community and Christmas, and how it brings the Grinch to do that rather than in this movie. It's the opposite. And I love the Who's and Whoville.
Yeah.
I think the character and the costumes and the makeup that they did for them is beyond its time at that point. And I think it shows that there's a lot of different renditions of Grinch still being made. So Grinch is definitely my favorite.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right. That's a fun one. Our number 12 ranked film. Check that one out. And Timothy, what is your favorite holiday film?
I think it's a toss-up between Elf and Christmas Vacation. They're very similar with the corny humor that everyone's seen, like corny movies, but corny Christmas movies are a little different, I think, because we don't live that day to day. And so to have that change of pace is nice and refreshing. And they have similar elements to each other with, I can't think of his name right now. Clark is kind of grumpy at points and is fed up with his job, and he's got that grumpy boss and everything. And it ties perfectly into Walter Hobbs, and he doesn't really enjoy his job, and he's got a grumpy boss, and they get the Christmas tree, it doesn't fit in the house, and just all that kind of thing. It ties in. It's very, very similar. And Christmas Vacation might be PG-13, and I see why. But yeah, it's probably between those two. If I had to pick one, probably Elf.
All right.
Okay. Ashley, is there anything that you would like to promote?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't have anything. Being nice to people.
All right. Well, thank you for joining this discussion of our number 1 ranked film, Elf. Please like, follow, and comment on this podcast.
Yes, please share and spread the word about Holiday Film Countdown. Thank you, Ashley and Timothy, for joining us. And thanks to all of our listeners. Our next episode will be a recap of the Holiday Film Countdown. And also, get ready for our rom-com countdown coming in early 2026.